Thank you for the introduction, Renos. Today we're picking up from the AGORA 25 conference, Africa Growth and Opportunity, Research and Action, First Edition, World Bank Group, held in Palermo. Last episode we covered energy. Today, agriculture.
And it's worth being clear about what AGORA actually set out to do. Not a typical conference. It was designed around co-creating solutions, bringing in actors from across sectors to work on Africa's development challenges together. AgriConnect, Mission 300, Italy's Mattei Plan, all came up.
So here's the tension. Agriculture still employs a huge share of the workforce across Africa. It's one of the most proven paths out of poverty. And yet, it consistently underperforms. Productivity is low. Markets are unreliable. The potential is there, it's just not being captured.
And that's exactly where AGORA started, by reframing the whole thing. Agriculture wasn't treated as a sector, it was treated as a system. Markets, finance, energy, climate, institutions, all interacting at once.
Which changes what you focus on. Because the problem isn't just farm-level productivity. A farmer can produce more, but if storage is broken, prices are volatile, and products can't move, that output never becomes income.
Right. So transformation means functioning markets, reliable supply chains, credible policy. Not just better seeds or inputs, the whole system has to shift.
And that's what leads to one of the most interesting ideas from the conference, the hidden middle.
Walk me through it.
Everything between farm and consumer, aggregation, cold chains, storage, processing, transport, wholesale, retail. That's where a lot of the real job creation and value addition is already happening. And it's almost entirely overlooked in policy.
Which is striking, because it's often small and medium enterprises filling those gaps, providing aggregation, credit, quality control, without any formal recognition or support.
And that connects to the next big issue, regional integration. Even when production is there, moving food across borders is still incredibly difficult. Tariffs aren't the main problem anymore.
It's non-tariff barriers, border delays, incompatible standards, policy unpredictability. The paperwork and uncertainty cost more than the tariff.
And the result is that Africa is still importing $70 to $80 billion of food every year, including products it could competitively produce itself.
So that's the case for food corridors. Instead of trying to fix everything everywhere, you identify high-potential production areas and connect them to demand centers. Coordinated investment in logistics, trade facilitation, processing, infrastructure. Build the connective tissue.
Exactly. Linked systems, not isolated projects. Production zones, markets, urban demand, all connected in a way that actually lets value chains function.
But here's where it gets difficult. Even with that vision, financing is still a major constraint. And the biggest gap isn't at the farm level. It's in the midstream. Storage, processing, logistics firms face high risk and very limited access to capital.
And climate is making that harder. This isn't a future risk anymore. It's already affecting yields, supply schedules, reliability. For businesses operating across value chains, resilience has become a competitive necessity.
Which raises the question of how you distribute risk across the system. The tools exist: insurance, disaster risk finance, blended finance, adaptive social protection. But the challenge is combining them so the risk doesn't keep landing on the people least able to absorb it.
And underneath all of this, institutions. Weak implementation, fragmented mandates, sudden policy reversals like export bans, they undermine trust and make investors hesitant. It's hard to build anything durable when the rules can change overnight.
That's why institutional credibility and policy predictability kept coming up as foundational. Not nice-to-haves, prerequisites. Without them, even well-designed investments struggle.
Then there's human capital. You need people who can actually operate across modern agribusiness systems, people with the skills to manage supply chains, run processing facilities, work with digital tools.
And that means youth and women aren't side participants. They need to be central. Real access to land, finance, training, opportunity. Not just mentioned in the framework.
So when you put it together, the system reframe, hidden middle, food corridors, financing, climate, institutions, human capital, a clear picture emerges. Agriculture can be a major engine of transformation, but only if it's supported as a system.
And Agora was clear that the evidence base is there. We know ag-led growth works for poverty reduction. We know corridor approaches work for trade. We know the hidden middle is where the action is. The knowledge exists.
But the hard questions are still open. How do you actually quantify the impact of midstream investments on jobs? How do you design financing models that hold up under real-world volatility? How do you distribute climate risk fairly and in a way that's still investable?
And maybe the hardest one, how do you make reform happen? Because many of the barriers aren't technical, they're political. Who benefits? Who loses? How you build coalitions for change. That's still a major gap.
So Agora 2025 did something important. It clarified where the real opportunities are. Agriculture and energy as central drivers. The investments, reforms, and infrastructure needed to unlock them. That's a sharper agenda than what existed before.
But the systems and infrastructure are only part of the story. Even well-designed systems depend on people. The talent, the skills, the entrepreneurial capacity to actually make them work on the ground.
And that's where Agora 2026 goes next, the human dimension of transformation. What it takes to build the capabilities that can sustain growth over time. That conversation is just getting started. Back to you, Renos.